As you can see here, got a couch and computer and TV, and sometimes people ask me, what type of TV shows do I like? As a science teacher, they're probably going to assume that I like the Discovery Channel and Mythbusters, and that's true, I like them. But lately, I've been finding myself watching an entirely different TV show, or type of TV show, and that's the Food Network, the Food Channel. Let's see here. As we can see here, this show is called Good Eats, and it's about the science of cooking. And I've been watching some of this lately, and I want to show you some things about the science of cooking that I've learned. So here we are in my kitchen, which is somewhat like a lab. I've got things to measure, I've got tools, I've got equipment. So this is kind of like a lab, and we're going to make some bread. And this bread is probably like some bread that you've had before, and we're only going to use 4 ingredients. First, we're going to use flour, and I've got my flour here, it's just normal flour, some sugar, some salt for flavoring, and water. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mr. Holmes, you forgot something. You forgot the yeast. And it's not that I don't have yeast. In fact, I've got a lot of yeast. I'm just going to put that away, though, and we're going to use the yeast that naturally occurs in our environment. So I'm going to put that away, and I'm going to teach you how to make a wonderful sourdough bread using the biology that's around us right now. The first thing we're going to need to do is get a bowl, and the deeper the sides are, the better, so that we can start growing some of our own yeast that we're going to get from the atmosphere. So here we go. Here's our bowl. Next, we're going to take 2 scoops of flour. Now this scoop is about half a cup, so a cup of flour would work. So 1 scoop, 2 scoops of flour, and put that in the bowl. Next, we're going to take 2 scoops of water. 1, 2, and pour it in the bowl with the flour. Now that we've got the water and the flour together, we're going to mix it up and create a paste out of that. Kind of a soupy paste. It should have the consistency of something like pancake batter. We're then going to take a piece of aluminum foil, and we're going to cover up the top of this, and we're going to find a warm place to put this mixture. Now here's what's happening. We've got yeast already in the air, and some of that yeast has found its way onto that flour and water mixture, and we're just going to put it in a warm spot where we can let that yeast grow and eat that flour so that we can start making a colony of yeast in here. Looking for a temperature between 70 degrees and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and what I found works really well is an oven with a light on in the back with no heat on, just enough heat from that light bulb to create an environment that's about 80 degrees inside the oven. So we're just going to leave it there for about half a day or a day, and then we're going to come back. Alright, it's been a day, so now it's time for me to check and see what's happened. And on the first day, I might see some little bubbles forming. Maybe not a big change, but something's definitely happening if there's a little bubbles forming, like you can see right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take just 1 scoop of flour, and what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and feed that yeast, because inside there's little yeasts that are growing, and they're eating the flour, and they're converting that flour into carbon dioxide. I'm also going to make sure the yeast have plenty of water, so 1 scoop of flour, 1 scoop of water, and I'm going to mix that up, and we're going to let it sit for another 24 hours and see what happens. Alright, well now it's been 2 days, and I'm going to go ahead and reach in. We're going to check out what we've got now, and I can already smell something. Wow, look at that. Look at all those little air pockets or carbon dioxide pockets that are in there. Something's definitely going on. I'm going to go ahead and get my spoon and start stirring this.